Nicole Dillon from Bremar Flower Farm, located in Ashland, Virginia, which is just outside Richmond, Virginia, a little north of that in Zone 7B. And today I am going to be planting some peony roots. So usually the preferred time to plant peonies would be in the fall, but you're perfectly okay to plant them in the spring as well. I am super excited that I got a new variety from Farmer Bailey called Sarah Unique, and if you're familiar with Sarah Bernhardt peony, then you'll be excited about the Sarah Unique variety because it's just like Sarah Bernhardt with that beautiful pink color, but then it has some speckling to it that gives it kind of like a paintbrushy look with some different variations of pink in the petals. So I'm super excited about that. We have a really nice overcast day today. It's in the lower 80s where the rest of the week has been in the 90s. So it's the perfect day for me to get out. And also because we are expecting rain for the next 3 or 4 days. We have a small airport close by, so sorry for the airplane noise going over us right now, of course, at the timing of me recording this video. So I'm gonna get started. Some tools that I'm gonna use today are gonna be my peony spacing stick. So I use this stick here to space out my peonies. I do mine at 30 inches just because you can plant them from 24 to 36 inches are the recommended planting spaces for peonies. I am a cut flower grower, so that means that I will cut all my stems off as they come and I don't allow my flowers to bloom in the field. So I can space them a little bit closer together and that way I can fit more plants in my field. If you're putting it in your landscape, I would recommend a 36-inch spacing if you are in the south because we have a lot of humidity here and humidity breeds disease and breeds fungal issues and all of that, and you need that proper airflow to make sure that you have healthy, happy plants. So this is one of my tools that I use for spacing. And then my other tool is this big boy right here. This is my power planter auger. It's the gallon size, so I can get a really nice deep hole and backfill it with great soil that will allow for my roots to really dig down. And I plant my roots about 1 to 2 inches below the soil, but all of that rest of the space gives the plants room to push through my other native soil that's not so great, that I'm working on amending, and it will get there, but right now it's not. So I dug a really nice deep hole to allow the roots to have space to grow and be happy. And this is my Ryobi drill that I use. It's a hammer drill and it gets the job done for me really quickly and saves me some labor of hand digging all the holes. Certainly a tool that as a home gardener you really probably don't need. It's overkill, but you can dig that hole 12 inches deep, 12 inches wide, and then you're gonna backfill with a mix of your native soil and some nice compost or potting mix that you might have, anything that you really have on hand that's good soil. And then you're gonna make sure those eyes, the pink parts of your root, are only 1 to 2 inches below the soil so that you have make sure that you have flowers for the next year. If you plant them too deeply, you're just gonna get foliage and no flowers, and that's not very fun. Even though I like the foliage, the flowers are really what we're going for. So let's get started on planting. Came across a really small root. I think it probably popped off one of the other roots, which happens, and that's okay. But it's a really great example of what a big box store peony root looks like. So I wanted to show you the comparison. So this right here, it has 2 eyes, one right there, and then a small one right there. Hopefully my camera is cleared up for you, that you can see, focusing for you so that you can see the 2 roots. So that's the size of what you get in a big box store, and this is the size of one that you'd get from a quality grower right here. So you can see that has all of those eyes at the top of it. And you can see just the drastic size difference between a big box store root and a quality grower's root. So keep that in mind. Cheaper isn't always better. It's going to take your plant a really long time to grow and flower. It's better to spend that money on a really quality root from a good garden center. And you can ask these questions. How many eyes are on your plant roots? Because a lot of times if you buy them in the spring, they're going to be in a nursery pot. So you're not actually going to be able to take a look at the bare root. So ask your nursery centers, how many eyes are on these plants, so that you know that you will get flowers within a season or so, which is really important. Plant the roots now, and I'll actually amend the soil like we talked about. So again, you can use anything that you have on hand in order to amend your soil. I happen to have this Pete Standy's raised bed mix, and I think it's going to be really great for my peonies because it contains cow manure, fine pine bark, perlite, lime, and sand. So I already know from my soil test that my my soil is slightly acidic, and I want to try to get it back to that neutral zone. I have put lime on it, but it was back about back maybe in August of this year, so it's okay to add a little more lime to it. It takes some time to get your pH to adjust. I can't remember the exact stats on how many pounds of lime you need to move your pH 1 point, but it is a significant amount, and it does take time to make that happen. So I'm not worried about over applying lime here. So I'm going to do that. And then it has sand too, so I do have some clay in my soil, so it'll help loosen up my soil a little bit and allow these roots space to grow. So let's take a look at a peony root. So this is what one looks like, and what you look for is 3 to 5 eyes on your root. So the eyes are these little, they're kind of pinkish pieces, and that's where your stems are going to grow from. So 1, 2, 3 right there. So that's a great root, and you're going to plant it in the ground with the eyes pointing up. Let me see. Oh, this one's really good too. So here's another example, and they all kind of look different. So this one's a little wider, a little shorter. This one's a little longer. But right here you have 4 eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And those are going to face towards the top. So that's a really good root. You want 3 to 5 eyes on a good quality root when you buy it. And then you can expect for it to flower within 3 years. I did have, I've pulled 30 stems off my 145 plants this year, so I am getting some flowers. Some varieties aren't flowering for me at all, so it really is dependent varietal to varietal of how quickly they will flower. But peonies are about patience, and it's a long game. And so I really chose to grow peonies because I have 2 young kids, and for me, I couldn't keep up with the fast-paced farming world of annuals and other types of cut flowers. And so I decided that I was going to play the long game, and I'm going to be patient and wait for my plants, because by the time they're really ramped up and really established and ready to go, then both of my children will be in school and I'll have a lot more time to focus on them. So that's just a personal choice that I made. And if you're going to grow peonies in your home garden, it's really going to be a personal choice that you fall in love with that flower, and you really love them, and you're willing to wait for them to bloom for you. And they're so fleeting. There's only a short window that they bloom, and so but they do have beautiful foliage for your entire season, so that can add some interest to a garden around other flowers. So I highly recommend you give them a chance and give them a try, but make sure you buy quality roots. So I'm going to get to planting them now. Okay, sun's out now. It's been a couple hours since I dug the holes and laid out the roots, because I have a 3-year-old and I had to pick her up from school, and we had to do the snack and the nap time and all of those things. So now I'm back at it, and I thought I would show you how to plant one of the roots, and then I will just do a quick video to show you me planting all the rest. So here we go. Okay, so I have my 12-inch hole already dug here, and I have my peony root here with the eyes, the pink pieces, 1, 2, 3, at the top. So I'm going to put it this way in my hole. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put some soil amendment in the hole, kind of mix it around with the native soil. And I'm pretty much going to fill it all the way up. All right. So I have the hole here. It was 12 inches deep. Now it's pretty full with a nice mix of my soil mix. And now I'm going to actually put it in the plant in the hole. So here's my root. I'm going to put it in so that the things are only 1 to 2 inches below the soil. So you can see the eyes pointing up here. Maybe added a little bit too much, so I'm going to dig down a little bit. And I'm going to have those eyes basically at soil level. Like that. They're right at soil level here, because I don't want them deep. And then I'm going to backfill the hole, add more compost, because that's going to allow my roots to have a chance to grow. They don't have a lot of clay that they need to push through. And then I cover it up. The top of my crown is right here, okay? And those eyes are barely under the surface. Now I will watch them as we're getting rain. We're getting rain the next few days, so I'm going to watch them and make sure that the rain doesn't wash them away. I do not want the eyes actually exposed to the air, but I do want them only an inch, maximum 2 inches, really in this climate, an inch below the surface. So they're right here on top, and I will just watch to make sure that they do not, the soil doesn't erode away. And now I'll get to all the rest. Okay, just like that. It took me about 5 or 6 minutes to dig the holes and about 5 or 6 minutes to get them planted. So it really doesn't take that long for me to get them in the ground. And then I'll have beautiful, beautiful flowers next spring. So I hope that these will push up foliage soon, and then I'll give an update there, and then I will expect flowers next year. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments. I'm always happy to answer your questions that you may have, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for different shorts and information on growing peonies and just general gardening in Zone 7B. Happy blooming!